said housing for single moms and dads, and me. To learn about real estate, if you want to get your license, it's really the best way that you can map the system and gain wealth. You're never ever going to be homeless again. And I made that vow to myself and my children.
Like, I remember the teacher's stories more so than I remember the literature in the book.
Right,
like, if
right.
we going over questions, I'm like, oh, remember she was talking about the cat and the dog and like, all the stories she had. I remember that more so than anything else.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping this class can be for you. If you want to take advantage of the 167 online, you at least have a support system where you can talk to people about what you're reading, and it's not so boring, and sometimes real estate terms become unrelatable. With that said, let me go into some of the terms and some of the learning so we can at least knock that out, because I know we'll have a lot of personal stories. There's a lot of things I'd like to share with you in this first class.
Real quick, what's the promo code again?
It's on the website. It's new 18. Well, I'm going to ask Career Web School if they will honor it for as long as whatever time it takes, you know, everybody to do these classes. Beginning. Now, this is a page that y'all don't have. You know, just to be clear, this is usually the book that people have to study. There's also a book by Barrons, B-A-R-R-O-N-S. We're going to hit this first page, okay? So we're a support group, and we want to seriously encourage everybody. The way to gain wealth is through real estate, okay? So even if you just get this knowledge, or whether you get the license, it's going to help dramatically. So let's get to some of the terms that you have to know. Okay, so when I say land, what do you think the definition of land is?
Area, location.
Okay, so land has a specific definition when it comes to real estate. So land is everything on the surface of the land, okay? You know, not counting no man-made structures. We're only talking about land. If it's a lake, if it's a tree. It also covers everything from your plot of land, the boundary lines, down to the center of the earth is supposed to be yours, okay? That's the definition of land. To the center of the earth, and then up into air, all the way to outer space. So it's like a big cone, all right? If there's a oil deposit or gold underneath there, that is yours, okay? Long as it's underneath to the core of the earth. And when we talk about air rights, we all see airplanes going over top of everybody's house. So basically our government and the airlines, they have the right to fly over our houses, even though you do technically own it. But if you wanted to really envision what air rights might look like, because sometimes these cases show up in Center City, okay? Imagine it's 50 years in the future and we all have solar panels on our roof. So when your neighborhood was built, everybody's house was the same height, everybody had solar panels, everybody got hit with the sun equally. Somebody's house burns down, developer buys it, and he says, you know what, the house is worth 2 stories, I want to go up 4 stories, I got the right to. Zoning says I can go up 4 stories. But when he goes up 4 stories, now your solar panels aren't getting hit by the sun like they used to, okay? So, I mean, that's my best definition of air rights. You want to try, since you took the class?
No, I thought that was a good definition. I really did.
Did you pick up anything in the class where they said anything different?
No, that's pretty much what they told us. And as far as, well, she used the reference as far as like cable lines and stuff like that being in the air, or PICO, or somebody had to like an easement. Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
And, you know, if you ever get into property management, sometimes you might be managing an apartment building, and a company will call up and say, can we put a cell phone tower on the roof? And so now you've got to figure out, well, how much do I want to charge them to put a cell phone tower on my roof, or a billboard? Okay, so you can sell your airspace. People can be renting the actual building, and then you can sell the access to the top of the building. Okay? All right, so that's land. All right? The next thing is real estate. If you hear real estate, what do you think? How would you define real estate?
Area, properties.
Okay. Anybody else want to try it? Real estate.
Property.
Yes. And you're right too. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. The way they're defining, yes.
I would say land and all that's on it and all the rights that allow you access. And
Well, you
ownership of it.
We're going to go to that next term. Yes. So real estate, and you know what? In all the years that I did real estate, I would have thought that real estate was the term you're talking about. I would have said it too. I would have said it was the bundle of rights and everything. So real estate.
It made sense more so like for her definition, like real estate was with the bundle of rights and everything, but
Right, it's not, yeah. And I you know what, if I think back, I think they did tell us real estate had the bundle of rights. But we'll get to that. So real estate is the land plus any permanent human man-made addition. So what is a permanent human-made addition?
Like a guest house.
Yep. Permanent human man-made human addition.
The house.
Yes, straight down.
Garages,
Thank you.
anything put on the land,
To the left.
built on the land.
Okay.
Man-made.
No, that's not man-made. Only the things that are man-made. So it could be a
Gazebo or something like that.
right. Okay, so that's real estate. It's the land and the building. Okay. Now, real property. Okay, real property is the land, the buildings, and the bundle of rights. Okay.
Everything we just talked about.
Yes. Now, so it's real property includes the bundles of rights. I'm gonna run to the door. Which one of you ladies want to describe bundle of rights?
Shalia, go ahead.
And everybody has the paper. So tell them what those bundles and use an example for each of those rights. Okay, go ahead.
I believe it's pretty much what everybody said. It's the bundle of rights. It's everything that's attached to the property. Everything that's put on a property. Fences, awnings.
Even though I'm learning just like y'all. Real property includes both land and real estate. It is defined as the interests, benefits, and rights that are automatically included in the ownership of the land and real estate. The general term property refers to anything that can be owned. Real property includes the earth's surface, subsurface, and airspace, including all things permanently attached to it by nature or people, and legal rights innate to the ownership of a parcel of real estate. So, traditionally, ownership rights of real property are described as a bundle of legal rights. This is the right of possession, the right to control the property within the framework of the law, right of enjoyment, to use the property in any legal manner, right of exclusion, to keep others from entering or using the property, and right of disposition, to sell, will, transfer, or otherwise dispose or encumber the property.
Can I just ask the two ladies, do y'all mind being recorded? Because we're recording this. Okay, thank you.
So everybody got that about the bundle of rights that goes along with property? Okay, so just to go over it again. Land is, were you listening? Land. Try. Think about land. Think about a farm. Okay, so land is everything natural.
Going to the center of the earth and above the air.
Lake trees, from lay in the sky.
That's right, from the center of the earth up in the sky, based on your property line, that's land. Is that what they taught you? Okay, cool. Real estate, who wants to try it? Real estate, mom in the back.
real estate is properties, right? Or
Human-made, permanently attached to the land. So it's the land and the property that's on it. The house, the garage.
Anything that goes with the land, with the property when you're selling it.
That can't be
Anything-
removed.
Yeah, they can't be removed.
Yeah.
Okay? And real property. Real property is
Land,
The bundle.
the real estate, and a bundle of rights. So
That's
it's the legal
right.
rights that go with
okay,
it.
so that's real property. So if somebody said, I own a lot of real estate, we know what they mean. If somebody says I deal in real property, we know what they mean. Maybe they own a condominium and they rent
Wait,
out.
well, what's the difference? That's why I'm a little confused. If you say that you own real estate and then you say that you deal in real property, what's the difference?
Well, it's not that there's a true difference. They want you to know the difference in the definition. Okay? Because there might be a time that you write a contract where they have to differentiate. So usually if somebody's talking to you and they say, oh, I got a whole bunch of pieces of real estate, we know they own a bunch of houses or whatever.
Right, but
Okay?
if somebody says that they deal in real estate, does that mean that they're a real estate agent or they own
No.
properties?
Yeah, for the test, you kind of don't have to worry about that, because if I'm talking to you and I'm going to say I sell real estate, okay? Even though when you go to settlement, you actually get real property, okay?
Because I think the difference, the real property is like the possession, like that you possess it now, and you have the rights to do everything with it.
But you can own real estate and only own parts of that real property. You may not have the air rights. You may not have ownership of what's beneath that house that you bought. Or if you bought a big farm or something, somebody else may own the rights to the coal mine underneath it. Or
That's right.
Or the oil. So that's when it becomes important to make the distinction.
Yeah. And like I said, it comes into play in contracts, in technical discussions. When people are talking, it really doesn't come into play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a landlord and a realtor?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so your landlord is the person who owns and controls the property you live in. A realtor can represent the landlord. So we do property management. So every contract that you have, like John Jay might be the owner of the building that you live in, but your contract is with DJ CRE Real Estate. And we are an agent of the landlord. That's right. And an agent means we can pretty much do everything that the landlord agreed we can do for him. So we can take people to court, we can evict them, we can collect the rent, we can go into the property and fix things, because that's part of the contract between us and the landlord. We can't, and this actually happens in here. If a landlord is married and he dies, and the wife walks in here and wants us to turn the property over to her, okay? Legally, we can't do that. That's something we can't do, okay? If child support says that they're going to place a lien on the property because of a landlord hasn't paid child support, we don't have nothing to do with that. We can only do the things that we're contracted to do for the owner. We act as an agent.
So the agency is like the general agent to the principal, with the principal being the landlord. Is that right?
That's right, school-wise.
Okay.
And we gotta research it, because I was like, oh my God.
No,
I ain't even
just
get
trying
that
to make
deep
sure
in the
because-
book.
Yeah, because I took the test before and they had stuff like that. And so one thing I learned when taking that exam, which is 3 hours long, you have to know the vocabulary, because they're not going to put it in the words that we use. So that's why I asked you in that way, because I wanted to make sure.
What I'll do is I'll research that and figure that out by the next class, and I'll also try to put that information online for everybody. The main thing we definitely want to do is research, okay? Because like you said, is it general agency? I'm not 100% sure. Or is it a more specific agency?
Yeah,
Because they have the general agency, they got special
Yeah,
agency.
because you're a special agent to that person, because you're just that person. It's like it's just like I'm your special agent because I'm just working with you and you're only working with me. type thing on this one thing.
Yeah.
The general, I think, is like when
They could do more than one. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, see, I'll look that up, and everybody else should research it too. I mean, we now have Google, so we can find out, is that general agency when I'm a management company and I work for a landlord. I was thinking, once you said general agency, might be more like when you walk into a real estate office and you say, can you show me some houses? Then I would think general agency, I'm like a lesser type specific agency. I really can't do anything for you except listen to you, advise you, and show you houses. You know, so that's what we got to check on. There's so many different roles that a realtor can play, and a realtor has to disclose everything to who they're dealing with. So if you came to me and you wanted me to show you houses, right? And most realtors represent the seller. Even if you walk in the door and say, show me houses, you can opt for me to represent you as a buyer's agent. So did they go into that with you guys about the difference between a buyer's agent and yeah. So agency will probably be somewhere deep in here.
But you have to disclose if you need both.
Yeah, for dual
Disclose
agency, you have to
everything.
have
Right.
written consent from both parties.
All right,
And you
so
can even represent your own self when you sell your house, right? Like if I'm buying a house from somebody, I can buy it for myself, but I have to disclose it.
yes, you have, you always, and once you become an agent, you always have to tell people in anything that gets close to anybody's real estate, you always have to disclose that you're a realtor or a real estate agent. You can be at a Thanksgiving dinner, okay? And if your uncle is like, you know what, I'm thinking of selling the house. Me and Mabel breaking up, and you know, all I owe is $15,000 worth of taxes. If your uncle said, you know, so-and-so, I'm thinking about getting somebody to help me. You gotta say, Uncle so-and-so, you know I'm a realtor, right? Yeah, because now he done disclosed a whole bunch of information. He done told you his whole situation. You, even as his niece, might have a customer that will want your uncle's house. You know, so you gotta let your uncle know, I'm a realtor. You let the other person know you're a realtor. You let the other person know, my uncle got a house for sale. So, you know, because you gotta disclose everything so that nobody can come at you and say you did nothing slick, because you'll be held to the higher the higher standard.
Even something simple as you renting an apartment from someone, you have to let them know too.
Yep, that's right, because people can disclose. Yeah,
Last week, we went into Berkshire Hathaway because I was trying to rent an apartment. So the guy that was walking past, my mom had said something about the mortgages, because it was the name for a mortgage company she recognized was like a poster was in the waiting area.
Yeah,
so
it was
said,
Trident Mortgage.
Yeah, she said something about she had her client or something that was trying to buy 48th Street.
Yeah,
was getting his mortgage through there. So the guy that was on the elevator with us, he just so happened to be the mortgage guy for that guy, and she just so happened to say that she was a realtor when they was, I think when you had said that.
Yeah, I represent the seller, and I'll tell everybody about that deal.
And then they ended up realizing that they were both doing the same thing for the same house. So,
and I'll tell you something, I tend to be a person without a filter, okay? I just be talking mess to people. So, just to give you guys some background, I started a real estate investment group, okay, all around a situation that happened in this office. I told you guys the whole story, so I just wanted to clear my head so I wasn't repeating it. So this is the first time you guys are hearing it. I was giving her an example of how you can get a house for zero, okay? There's many situations in this city, but here's what happened here. I was at the front desk, and a young lady came in, and she said, look, she said, I'm here from Georgia. My dad passed away, and he has a house in West Philly. We went to the house. It's some young guys that were living with her dad while he was alive. They were his caretakers, and these guys won't leave. Number one, we had to call the police because they had my dad's car. So we got the car back, but I can't deal with this BS. I gotta go back to Georgia. So, boom, she left me the keys, okay? And she said, if you can do anything, I'd like to sell the house or whatever. You know, I wasn't that close to my dad, whatever, you know. And so if you could do something with the house, do it. So I held on to those keys. I checked on the house. I kept going to the house, and there was a squatter in there. Through a weird group of circumstances, the squatter, I got his telephone number. Okay, he had relatives that lived up the street that was real newsy about the whole situation. So I ended up getting the guy's telephone number, and after a year we went to the house. He came to the door with a weapon. I was like, no, that's okay, dude, you know. We couldn't get him out, and we couldn't get in to see the house.